Julie Jensen was a 40-year-old mother of two living in the quiet suburb of Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. Married to Mark Jensen, a computer programmer, Julie appeared to have a picturesque life. But behind the walls of their modest home, something sinister was unfolding. In December 1998, Julie was found dead in her bedroom. Mark called 911, saying he believed his wife had taken her own life. When police arrived, they found Julie's lifeless body propped against pillows, with froth at her mouth and a bottle of cold medicine nearby. The scene, while suspicious, lacked obvious signs of violence. Mark claimed Julie had been depressed. He told authorities that she had talked about taking her life and insisted she had been unstable. Yet something about the scene felt off to the first responders and detectives. It was too staged, too neat. Days later, Julie's family presented investigators with a chilling piece of evidence. A letter written by Julie before her death. In it, she wrote that if anything happened to her, her husband should be the first suspect. She feared he was planning to kill her and had been poisoning her. Julie said she had become sick several times after eating or drinking things Mark had given her. Police were stunned. The letter sounded like a woman writing from the edge of fear and desperation. Friends backed up the claims, saying Julie had become paranoid about her food and drinks and confided that she believed Mark was trying to kill her. She had even met with a police officer months earlier, stating her suspicions, but there had been no evidence at the time. Despite this, it would take years before charges were filed. The case languished while investigators struggled to find physical proof. Then in 2002, forensic testing revealed a shocking truth. Julie had been poisoned with ethylene glycol, the active ingredient in antifreeze. A toxicology test also found traces of sleeping pills. Finally, in 2007, nearly a decade after Julie's death, Mark Jensen was arrested and charged with her murder. Prosecutors alleged that Mark had slowly poisoned Julie with antifreeze and sleeping pills, then smothered her once she was incapacitated. The motive, they argued, was his affair with another woman, who he later married. At trial, the letter written by Julie before her death became central to the prosecution's case. The defense objected, saying the letter was hearsay. The judge allowed it, and in 2008, Mark Jensen was convicted of first-degree intentional homicide and sentenced to life in prison without parole. But in a stunning reversal, a higher court ruled that Julie's letter should not have been admitted. The conviction was overturned, and Mark was granted a new trial. The retrial began in 2023. By now, forensic evidence and the history of Mark's affair with his co-worker painted a grim picture. Prosecutors argued that Mark had been methodically eliminating his wife to start a new life. They introduced new evidence showing his internet searches for poisoning methods and email conversations expressing his hatred of Julie. This time, even without the letter, the jury was convinced. In February 2023, Mark Jensen was convicted again of murdering his wife. He was once more sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Julie's family, after more than 2 decades, finally felt justice had been served. Her death, once labeled a suicide, had been exposed as a cold and calculated murder.